all about taking a stand and fighting for justice and being the change that we need to see. This is it right here. So I want everybody to make some noise for yourselves right now one time. Make some noise again. Make some noise. Yes, 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 yes. And today is July 1st, which marks the start in 1917 of the first day of the East St. Louis Race Massacre. It was a 3-day race massacre, one of the deadliest race massacres in American history. And this race massacre that happened in East St. Louis, where hundreds, not dozens, hundreds of black American men, women, and children were killed in the streets. On this day in 1917, smoke filled this area and the grounds that we stand right now. The buildings around us right now, the buildings that were around were being burnt down. Smoke was coming out. People were running around, seeking shelter, seeking refuge from the terrorist, racist mob that was tearing through East St. Louis. Millions of dollars in damages to businesses were done. Complete generations of families were wiped out. And what's worse, no accountability and no justice was ever held for anything or anybody that had happened during that 1917 East St. Louis race massacre. Even worse, when the families who did have insurance, whose homes were burnt down and they went to go and claim their insurance, the insurance companies told them they didn't have riot insurance, so therefore they couldn't receive any compensation at all. And those homes, even still today, those lots here in East St. Louis are left vacant. That is systemic racism and that is systemic oppression. When lots from 1917 and homes that were burnt down in 1917 and those lots are still empty today, that shows the connection, that shows systemic racism, that shows that accountability must be held, that shows that reparations must be paid to the black Americans that have suffered from the race massacres, the black Americans in the towns that were buried under rivers and lakes, the black American towns that were bombed by racist terrorist mobs like in Tulsa. All of these things happen with zero accountability ever being held, saying that reparations cannot be paid. But that is a lie, and that is a lie to be told by the American government, because reparations has been paid. Yeah. And in the history of reparations, the slave owners who lost their slave, who when we were free, and they no longer had their slaves and they counted them as property, they were paid reparations. Yeah. And America today has paid over $2 billion in reparations to other minority communities, to the Alaskan Natives, to the indigenous tribes of this nation, and to Japanese Americans for their atrocities that they have faced. But yet, from Jim Crow to the war on drugs, to the multiple dozens of race massacres that happened after slavery, not $1 has ever been paid to the black American community and the people and the descendants who built this country for free and made it the economic powerhouse that it is. Yeah. But we are not going to stay silent, and we're not going to be quiet, and that's why we're out here today. We're out here to raise awareness to the travesties and the atrocities that has happened in these multiple massacres, especially in the 1917 East St. Louis race massacre that is not well known. We are out here to fight for justice and to fight for accountability. And in that fight, and in the power of the people, and through grassroots efforts, we are starting the very first East St. Louis Reparations Committee that is going to address the accountability and seek justice and fight for justice for those that cannot, and make sure those who have suffered will get the justice that they are deserved. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming out here, because this is what it takes. One person cannot bring change. It takes the community. It takes us to come together and be one together. So this is the most beautiful view and aspect I've seen. People from all over the area, from different walks of life, from different causes, and we're all here today fighting, saying Black Lives Matter, saying that accountability must be held, and that the Black American community needs reparations now. And before I go on to our very first speaker, I'd like to thank all of the community organizations that came together, again showing what real community is. From CSSJ, Families Against Gun Violence, Metro East Organizing Coalition, who has been a part of this since the beginning. This is our third annual march. The REC team, Clean City Coalition, the NAACP East St. Louis branch, Moms Demand Action, who has been in the community profusely with every single organization and working. My activist brothers and sisters from St. Louis, anybody that's involved, and please forgive me, please forgive my heart and not my mind if I forget anybody, but that is what community is. And this is all of us coming together, fighting for justice. So I want to again thank you all for coming out. Thank you, thank you. So, without further ado, our very first speaker, and she has been blazing the trail since she has taken office. She is the East St. Louis NAACP branch president. And she has been active, yes. And she has been active in the community, making sure revitalizing and revamping the NAACP, making sure they are a pillar in the community that they have always been and what they have started off as. So everybody, please welcome NAACP President Robin Carey Boyd.
I think I push it upwards. Yeah. Takes a second. Should be good.
Hello.
Make some noise.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Bear with me as I refer to my notes because I don't want to miss anything. Today is about reparations. Again, I'm Robin Carey Boyd, president of the St. Louis branch, 3013, and I'm a proud native of East St. Louis. Today, we speak about reparations and what we want to see happen. Reparations is what we want back. So a definition from Webster says it's a repairing or keeping in repair, such as a building in need of constant reparation, right?
Yes.
It's the act of making up for a wrong. It's money or materials paid to you. So, reparations. Making the amends to right the wrongs of social injustice or in war. Reparations has a long history and it can take many forms. But the NAACP historically advocates for reparations as it relates to economics, the right to vote as we fight against voter suppression, housing, whether you rent or own, sometimes we have to fight. Employment, opportunities that you want to have, and most recently, health and women's reproductive rights. And just this week, education. Yes, affirmative action. As the NAACP has spoken out against the Supreme Court decision. There are other areas of discrimination, as we know, that you, all of us, people of color, especially black people, are unfairly targeted. Black people, we are the results of what happened here in East St. Louis. In 1917, it wasn't a riot, it was a massacre. Yes. We didn't ask for it. We didn't go out and walk the streets as they do today. It was a massacre. In 1908, in Springfield, they had a riot. And those things combined are the reason why we, in 1924, organized here in East St. Louis. But the NAACP started because of those things back in the 1900s, early 1900s. The challenges in East St. Louis have intensified. We are reliving the injustices, the disparities. It's coming back to us all over again. Yeah, we have some technological advances, the expansion of technology, solar energy, and media expansion, all great, right? But we in this East St. Louis area, we still suffer, and reparations are our rights. We continue to struggle and demand that we are heard and are entitled to reparations for our ancestors and for the current residents of East St. Louis, the city of champions. We will not go down without a fight. We need to take this history to the streets. We need to be the change that we want to see happen. So I charge you all to join this effort join us. I thank J.D. Dixon and Dr. Rice Barnes for leading this charge. NAACP stands with you. With you. We will face this together, and this is our land. We're going to see that more. We're going to walk it. I want y'all to come join this fight.
Everybody put it together one more time for President Robert Kerry Ward. Powerful words. Next up,
This person.
hello. Next up, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. He is the owner of IMESTL, another partner who has been here since the beginning, since our first Reparations March. He is the Illinois Humanitarian of the Year winner. Everybody put your hands together for Lorenzo Savage.
Thank you, JD. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for coming out and really supporting this wonderful event. Of course, we know that this is hollow ground. You know, this is where I think one of the reporters said having a black skin was a death knell, and they actually, you know, were taking people, burning their houses, and shooting them like dogs as they ran out. They were murdering innocent people, taking them off the streetcar, snatching babies out of parents' hands, throwing them up in the air, shooting them, and then throwing them in the river. They said 45 people died here. The NAACP and W.B. Du Bois thought it was more like 450 or 500 people. So let's have a moment of silence for those victims. Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, I sure love the JD and the fight, taking on reparations. It's been a fight of mine as well. And I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about reparations and why I advocate for reparations. Today, I stand before you to advocate for the cause that has been long overdue. The issue of reparations for African Americans. For centuries, African Americans have endured unspeakable suffering, injustice, and discrimination. It is time to acknowledge the painful legacy of slavery and its lasting impact on the lives of millions of people. Reparations is not only a moral imperative, they are an essential step towards healing the wounds of the past and ensuring a more just and equitable society in the future. The institution of slavery, which plagued the United States for over 200 years, represents one of the darkest chapters in our country history. Africans were forcefully taken from their homes, subjected to inhumane conditions, robbed of their freedom, dignity, and identities. While slavery was abolished long ago, its consequences continue to resonate through generations, perpetuating socioeconomic disparities and systemic racism. The legacy of slavery has created an unequal playing field that we must strive to rectify. Reparations can take various forms, including financial compensation, educational initiatives, healthcare access, and community investment. Don't we need community investment?
Absolutely, yes.
It is crucial to recognize that reparations are not only about creating a sense of entitlement, but rather addressing the persistent disadvantages that African Americans face due to historical injustices. They are about providing the tools and opportunities necessary to level the playing field and empower communities that have been systemically oppressed for too long. Critics may argue that we cannot hold modern society accountable for the mistakes of the past. However, by recognizing the past and offering reparations, we acknowledge that the effects of historical injustices continue to reverberate today. We recognize that poverty rates disproportionately affect African American communities. that access to quality education remains limited, and the systemic racism persists in our society. Ignoring these facts perpetuates the cycle of discrimination and inequality, breeding further social division. Reparations are not a new concept, as JD said. They've been implemented in various contexts throughout history. After World War II, Japanese Americans who were interned during the war were offered reparations for their unjust internment during the war. Similarly, Germany paid reparations to Jewish individuals and Israel in the aftermath of the Holocaust. These examples just demonstrate that reparations can aid in healing wounds, promoting reconciliation, and fostering social harmony. By advocating for reparations, we demonstrate our commitment to a fair and equal society. It sends a powerful message that we acknowledge the atrocities of the past and refuse to let history repeat itself. It embodies our aspirations for a society in which every individual has equal opportunity for success, regardless of background or race. Reparations is not a panacea or a cure for all societal ills, nor can they immediately solve the systemic issues overnight. However, they would serve as a critical step towards reconciliation, healing, and justice. It is time to step up and take responsibility for the past. It is time for African Americans to receive the recognition and support that they deserve so that as the nation, we can collectively move forward towards a future of harmony and equality. Let us be remembered as the generation that took courage and stood up against racial injustice and ensured that the fight for equality did not end at mere words, but extends into meaningful action. Let us be the change that we wish to see in the world. I am Lorenzo Savage. I live in East St. Louis. I am East St. Louis. Come back home. We need you in East St. Louis because we need to build this community back up. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Everybody put it together again for Lorenzo Savage. Put it together, make some noise. Thank you. Next up, our next speaker, she has been a part and the equal member and organizer of this Reparations March. She's the founder of Metro East Organizing Coalition. Everybody please make some noise for Dr. Reverend Loretta Rice Barnes.
Thank you, JD, and I just want to echo what JD has said thus far. I just thank everybody that have come out on today. All of the organizers, all of the activists, all of the media that came, because it's going to take awareness through the media to continue to help spread awareness of the 1917, not riot, but massacre. I'm always just trying to think about what it is that I want to say. And as I was reflecting on the history and the different articles and videos that have been released thus far around the riot, most of them in the most recent years, about what has happened. All of the lives that have lost, and you've heard the grounds that we stand on today was also part of those grounds that wreak havoc and ruin. There's discrepancies as to how many lives were lost. You're here 39, you're here 45, you're here 100 and something, you're here 450, but there's even an account that lists 2,000. At least 2,000 lives that was lost as a result of this massacre. As I looked at the ruins of the buildings and some of the grounds that stand today, when you go down Trindley, if you go down Bond, if you go down certain parts of the city, you will see where the buildings once stood. If you see any previous photos, but today those grounds are still barren. And some may say, you know, it's been 106 years. Why haven't it been rebuilt from then to this point? But East St. Louis has suffered over decades through lawlessness, through violence wreaked by the hands of those who have run the city. At that time, predominantly white. When I heard that white mobs had broken into the National Armory to steal weapons, to seek after our black men and families to kill them, and there was no prosecutions at large that took place, I thought about the insurrection that happened just a few years ago. How is it that mobs of men, women, young folk can storm and destruct our democracy, our communities with no prosecution, yet as a black woman, a black man in this country, we're continuously sought after, shot. You remember George Floyd. You remember so many stories that have happened. Many of you have lost loved ones at the hands of those that should have protect us. We were not protected during that time. The law enforcement organized in what they called against a black revolt, but it really was a mob of people overtaking our city, as it has happened for decades up to this point. People seeking to come in to rule through authority and overtake. The baby's lives that was lost, that was an account of a story of two kids that was fortunate enough, I would say, to get a coroner's report. One shot in the head, there was another one that was burned in the house. It reminded me of, you all have heard of this story, the Dunnigan 5. Here in this city, those 5 babies that lost their life, not by intentional intent of their loved ones, and the government has sought to prosecute them, yet our kids and families that was burned, shot, brutally beat by the hands of some law enforcement and other community members did not get prosecuted. We as the people of East St. Louis, those that live here, those that are in the outskirts, simply because the housing has not been restored in our community so that you can come back. But there are people raising the voice about that. It's important that we never let the story of the 1917 race massacre die. I talk to some people and they say, well, I've heard of it. Some that were survivors, some that were family members of survivors that passed the stories, but at large they were too afraid to talk about it. So they didn't share the stories. It was isolated information. Why isn't it in our curriculums in our school districts? If it's in no other school district, it should be in our local school district. NAAC president, we want to partner with you. Glory to God, to continue to raise this issue, that we need development of curriculum so that our children and our children's children would know what happened on these grounds. It's not okay for us to just think that this is something that just happened. It has been perpetuated. It's systemic racism, evil that have happened over and over again, and it's going to take us standing up. Because of the terror of 1917 that have hovered over this community to this day, we're afraid to talk and to show up. When it comes to, we have our St. Louis activists and friends here, when it comes to raising issues, we have to go across the bridge to find a protest. Because we don't want to flood the streets. It should be. We should have hundreds of folk out here. Thousands of people out here. And it's going to take us galvanizing our people and organizing and raising the issues of what have happened. This massacre have affected the economic advancement of our people. Houses, jobs, property that could have been passed down to this day is no longer here. And it's up to us to raise that awareness. I invite you all to dig deeper, to learn the history about it, to share it on your social media pages, to join us as we continue to build out the reparations committee around this. We invite you into this space. Thank you. Thank you all.
Put your hands together again for Dr. Reverend Loretta Rice Bond. Come on, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. We're out for change. We're out for justice. We're out to hold those accountable for the atrocities of what has happened. Everybody make some noise one more time. Come on. Next up, we're going to have a prayer over the march before we start, and the excuse me, words are hard sometimes. I'll please put your hands together for one of Metro East Organizing Coalition founders, Carolyn Rice. Everybody put your hands together.
Good afternoon, everybody. Make some noise. As I stand at the moment, I know I'm leading the prayer. But I just want to say just a quick word before the prayer. That everything that have been spoken in this moment have been rich and on fire to start a movement. And everybody collectively here, we stand unified. But we're nothing without God. So we invite God into this moment. And so I'm going to pray from the tradition of my faith, Christian faith. And you all can pray along with me in the spirit of unity, because the word of God says that where there is unity, he commands a blessing. And we're not just standing together today, we're locking arms together for a movement that will not just only take off from right here, but will go across the nation. That for black African Americans that suffer, and we hear the blood that cries from the ground and speaks to us for a moment right now that justice prevails and reparations come forth. Restitution for every person that died on these grounds, in this city, for the families that was then and the legacies of us that are now, for the children that will go further than us, but that will take this sound and this movement, that it won't stop as we remember the lives of those that were lost, but we forever remember today, and we stand in solidarity to see it come to pass. Let's bow our heads. Gracious Father, in the mighty matchless name of Jesus, Lord, we stand under an open heaven, and you said in your word that we can declare and decree a thing. And so today we declare and decree that social injustice, the disparities, Lord, that we have suffered at the hand of racism, oppression, systemic oppression, everything that have caused trauma from legacy of years ago until today, we say it come down. We say that the bondage that we've been under, that we're coming out of bondage. Father, we thank you today for the sounds and the words that have been released. And we move forward to you, and we lock arms, we put feet and boots on the ground to say that we will see reparations come. We will see restitution for the homes, for the lives, for the legacy that will go on forever and a day. To the smiles from the pain that was caused, that we'll smile but we'll not forget, and we'll remember what taken place in 1917. But in 2023, we raise our voice and we step out in faith. We declare and decree it, that it shall be so, and that we will rise up in victory. And we take authority over everything that want to come against us. And we rise in victory. We declare and decree these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Put your hands together again for Carolyn Rice Bond. For Carolyn Rice. Everybody, Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black
the travesties of the 1917 race massacre to the travesties, of course, of the systemic racism and oppression that consists today. And of course, thank everybody that came out today to take a stand for justice, to take a stand for accountability. Everybody make some noise again. I'd like to point out and shout out that we do have Landon Lincoln here, part of reparations, part of the systemic oppression, part of systemic racism. A lot stems from the criminal justice system. Predominantly and unethically, of course, Black Americans have been shuffled through the criminal justice system more than any other group here in America. We are given harsher sentences, we are given more time, we are given just the worst of the worst when it comes to the criminal justice system. But just outside of that, the criminal justice system has just been unduly and unfair on the way that it was created. So if anybody has anything pressing or anything that has happened, we have Landon Lincoln here, they're right here to the back of my left, as you see them raising their hands. If you have anything at all, please go see Landon Lincoln, give them your information, and they will get back to you, and then take it from there, okay? Right. So again, I want to thank everybody. So right now we're about to prepare for the march. We're going to be coming out of this driveway right here. Anybody that would like to just get in their cars and just travel in the back, you can. I would like to encourage those who can and are willing to march and walk, please do. But for those who would like to get in their cars and travel in the back, you can just pull up right here, and then we'll be coming out and then making the left out of here. So everybody, let's go ahead and make our way over here, and then we'll start the march here in a few minutes.
JD.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. All right, one more announcement. I'm sorry. And then July 6th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we have there is an expungement and sealing informational forum that is being put on by the East St. Louis Alumni Chapter, Alpha Phi Alpha, Sigma Gamma Rho. And the presenter is going to be Honorable Zena Cruz, the Circuit Judge, State of Illinois, 20th Judicial Circuit, and Prosecutor Kenneth Williams Sr., Circuit Clerk, St. Clair County, Illinois. Again, we're seeking justice in the criminal justice system, and the aftermath of those who have been incarcerated is still another sentence after they come home. And Black Americans, again, are the ones who are predominantly locked up. The Black Americans make up more of the incarcerated population than any other demographic here in the country. So we are impacted the most. And when it comes down to expungement and the sealing of our records, that will perpetuate us forward to systemic change. Because that will allow those who have been impacted to get the jobs that they are rightfully due after serving their time, able to apply and go to college and get the amenities that is needed. So again, July 6th at 6 p.m. and is going to be at the East St. Louis Senior High School, 4901 State Street, East St. Louis, Illinois. If you like flyers, right here where you see your hand up, you can go and get flyers from right there. So thank you all again for coming, and let's take it to the streets for justice. Let's make some noise. Oh, and then after the march,
How long is the march?
The march.
How long is it?
About 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10, 15 minutes. And then after the march, when we come back, we'll just be marching through downtown and back. We have snow cones. We have snow cones inside, so to cool off. We have snow cones after the march. Before we start, anybody that like cold water, please go to the cooler and grab a cold water for the march. And yes, let's make it happen. Let's hit the streets for justice, everybody.
How you doing today?
What's going on, Larry? How you doing? Good to see you, man. You too. Appreciate all the work that you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool.
Oh, that is good. We need that.
Thank you. It's a crazy world. So, okay,
Shit, I just want everybody to know because ain't nobody really pulling up the rear.
All right, anybody that's in the car, just going in the car, pull up right here. Everybody else, follow me. We're gonna come and we're gonna start right here. Anybody who would like to carry a sign, we have economic justice sign, environmental justice signs right over here for anybody who likes to carry a sign. All right, everybody, come right out here. Matter of fact, yeah, I would, I'm gonna have her in front. Yeah, come on, I'm gonna have you in front. I'm gonna have you in front, Courtney. Before we go, does anybody want a water who doesn't have a water? Stay behind us. Y'all chill behind us. Okay. I'm about to push the grass some water. Thank you, y'all. Anybody would like the water?
Babe, so I'm gonna leave the tailgate down in case somebody needs to run up and get water. Let him go.
All right, everybody. Let's take it to the streets for justice. Black Lives Matter. 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 What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. The people want to know. The people want to know. Who we are. Who we are. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are the people. We are the people. The mighty, mighty people. The mighty, mighty people. Fighting for justice. Fighting for justice. Justice for the people. Justice for the people. Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. The people want to know. The people want to know. Who we are. Who we are. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are the people. We are the people. The mighty, mighty people. The mighty, mighty people. Fighting for justice. Fighting for justice. Justice for the people. Justice for the people. Whole streets. Our streets. 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 What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. Black Lives Matter. 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 Whole streets. Our streets. Whole streets. Our streets. Whole streets. Our streets. Whole streets. Our streets. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 If No justice.
No peace.
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 What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 who shut it down?
We 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 shut it down.
Black Lives Matter.
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 No hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist USA.
Say no hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist USA.
No justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no racist,
Police.
no racist,
Police.
no racist,
Police.
no hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist
I
USA.
said no hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist USA.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop.
Black Lives Matter.
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 Whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
I ain't grab one of these waters.
right here.
Let me grab a water.
Let me get one too.
Yeah, I was like, it's blocked.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Where do we want it?
Now.
Where do we want it?
Reparations.
Where do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 who shut it down?
We 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 shut it down.
Black Lives Matter.
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 No hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist USA.
No hate, no KKK, no racist USA.
No hate. No KKK. No racist USA.
Everywhere we go,
Everywhere we go,
people wanna know
people wanna know
who we are.
who we are.
So we tell them.
So we
Fighting for justice.
Fighting for justice.
Justice for the people.
Justice for the people.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reparations.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 who shut it down?
We 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 shut it down.
Everyone, please come to your right. We have the Order of Education, the first black school in East St. Louis. Put it on the National Historic Register and say, we need to save our architecture. Thank you.
Yes, yes. But as we're marching, we are marching through historic sites of East St. Louis.
Board of Education, too.
The first Board of Education, first educational institute for this Black American community, and you see where it is right now. Reparations will bring back economic and educational equity. This is why we're out here. This is the justice that we're fighting for. We're fighting for equity. We're fighting for accountability. This is why we're out here. Save our city. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No. Does anybody need water? It's cold. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice. If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it, if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut
want to look to your left. We have a mural on the wall here, IME St. Louis, and 89 Block Strong put together. And you see in the windows we put some of our heroes: Eugene Redmond, Catherine Dunham, Miles Davis, and my late wife, Charmaine Savage. And we have 10 of the 40 staff. They have state questions, they have musical instruments, and they have a stronghold for education. The extra city is where you see the butterflies my way. And so we want to continue to build on this mural and save this building, save the Majestic. It was shut down when it became integrated. We never got to experience it. I never got to go to it. And it's a beautiful building, and we can save it, you all. So let's put pressure on the city. Let's save our architecture history.
And also, right here in this marker, this is one of the East St. Louis, this is one of the race massacre historical markers. Right here is where the mob gathered before they tortured East St. Louis and did damage, and did millions of dollars of damage, killed hundreds, if not hundreds, thousands of people. So this is the sacred site number 18 right here. They gathered right here. They rallied right here. And spit the racist, evil, hatred, and rhetoric before they destroyed and killed hundreds and thousands of people. And now we are out here in the same spot, in the same place, marching for justice, marching for accountability, marching to bring true justice to the people who have suffered the most. And we're not going to stop until we get that justice. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reparations. When do we want it? Now. Hold on. Everybody over to the right. To that lane. Everywhere we go, the people wanna know who we are. So we tell them we are the people, the mighty, mighty people, the mighty, mighty people, fighting for justice, fighting for justice, justice for the people, justice for the people. No hate, no KKK, no racist USA. I said no hate, no KKK, no racist USA. I said no hate, no KKK, no racist USA. No KKK, no racist USA. Black lives matter. 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 Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. The people wanna know. The people wanna know. Who we are. Who we are. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are the people. We are the people. The mighty, mighty people. The mighty, mighty people. Fighting for justice. Justice for the people. Justice for the people. Say I believe. I believe. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Say I know. I know. I know that we will win. I know that we will win. Say I believe. I believe. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Say I know. I know. I know that we will win. I know that we will win.
All in the front.
Did it come out?
Look to your left. We have the Union Trust Bank Building on the National trying to allow us to develop and create a cafe and a meeting space for the citizens of East St. Louis.
Yeah.
A Beale Street for East St. Louis, guys. We can do this. We are part of the Mid-America Medical District that's being developed up on Greenmount Road. It was supposed to be in East St. Louis. The area was East St. Louis, and then the Governor Quinn at the time expanded the area, expanded the hell out of East St. Louis. It's all up on Greenmount Road. 300 million and growing. We are still a part of the Mid-America Medical District. Let's make some noise and tell them we want our city developed.
Yes. Economic justice.
Economic justice. We want those developers that are making millions to develop our city as well, off of our back, like they've always done. They building that off of our city back.
I worked in that building for 10 years.
Yes, ma'am. And then we have the Walgreens, the historic building here, one of the first Walgreens. You see the design here.
Make some noise, make some noise. We're out here marching for justice. This is why we're out here. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Why are you almost there? Everybody's right here. Oh, no, keep chanting slow in the front so we all can catch up. No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No hate! No hate! No KKK! No racist USA! No hate! No KKK! No racist USA! No hate! No KKK! No racist USA! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
president of this bank. We need people in positions where they can come and make a difference in our community. And Mr. Hoosman definitely did that. Rest in peace. East St. Louis boy, basketball star too.
Yeah.
Here we go, bringing it home everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. People wanna know. People wanna know who we are. Who we are. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are the people. We are the people. The mighty, mighty people. The mighty, mighty people. Fighting for justice. Fighting for justice. Justice for the people. Justice for the people. Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. The people want to know. The people want to know who we are. Who we are. So we tell them. We are the people. The mighty, mighty people. Fighting for justice. Fighting for justice. Justice for the people. Justice for the people. Everybody make some noise. Everybody make some noise. Clap it up, clap it up. Clap it up, clap it up. We were out here today to bring justice, to bring noise, to raise awareness, and that's exactly what we did. What we showed is what the power of the people in the community can and will accomplish. We are making strides for justice. We are making strides in reparations. We are starting the first East St. Louis Reparations Committee. We are working actively towards getting accountability and justice for those who have suffered from systemic racism, systemic oppression, seeking and coming for economic justice, educational justice, and environmental justice in the communities that have been deprived the most, who have not received the resources that it should have been received decades ago. We are still waiting for our 40 acres and a mule, and today we will get it. We march for justice, and we will get it because we want reparations now. Make some noise! Thank everybody again. In closing, again, I'd like to thank all of the community organizations once again, the NAACP, NEOC, Moms Demand Action, Direct Team, Regular Everyday Citizens, of course our St. Louis activist brothers and sisters who came all the way over to East St. Louis and marched with us. Unity is power. Everybody, the people, CSSJ, and especially the people, the community. It's about us. It's about us coming together and bringing power and bringing change to our communities. And that's what we did today. Make some noise one more time. Before I pass it over to Carolyn Rice for the closing prayer, again, we have Landon Leakin here, one of our partners for this East St. Louis Reparations March. So please, if you have anything going on at all that you feel that attorney should look at or get a consultation for, please see the Land of Lincoln people that are here. Give them your information and please connect with them, please.
We got snow cones in there.
And after the prayer, we do have snow cones for everybody to cool off, get a nice cold refreshment for not necessarily warm, but to cool down, because we are out here in the heat fighting for justice, and that's what matters the most. That's what matters the most. So, without further ado, thank you all again, and I'd like to reintroduce one of the founders of MEOC, Carolyn Rice Barnes, for the closing prayer. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm wrong.
Rice Smith.
I'm sorry. Closing prayer is going to be done by MEOC's founder, Dr. Reverend Loretta Rice Barnes.
I thought it was you. I thought she was coming back up. We just want to say thank you. We just want to say, we just want to say thank you to all of you all. Yeah, let's clap it up for you all that came out, endured the heat. It kind of cooled down for us. Thank God for the rain. Last year it rained. us. Oh my God. But I just want to encourage you as you go home to continue to look up the history that you can find on the 1917 race massacre on the grounds of East St. Louis. Continue to join forces. Next year, we expect this crowd to be 6 times bigger than this. You got a whole year to work on it, to let people know. So I'll be closing out in prayer. I'll be praying according to my Christian tradition, and I invite you all to follow along in your traditions of your choice. God, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this day. We thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for keeping us strengthened. Thank you for allowing us to come into awareness of such an atrocity and to give us the strength to continue to move forward, to fight for reparations, to fight for the rebuilding of the land, to fight for righteous leadership.
Yes.
I pray over every person that's out here. I pray a divine protection around you, a hedge of protection.
Yes.
As you go throughout your day, may safety encompass all around you. And it's in the name that I pray, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Can I get you with the sign?